Welcome to AI Policy Draft number 2. We're excited and we hope you are too.
Let's begin by looking at trends from the feedback you gave us. We noticed that there was a lot of concern about IEP and 504 accommodations and how the AI policy would affect them. We also noticed a big desire for training, both for staff and students, and a desire for models of assignment types with different levels of AI allowance. Also, we noticed a lot of really interesting feedback that went into philosophical ideas, really big concerns, really big ideas as to things we could do. And so we did want to talk about why are we here. Right now, we are here to build the basics. We need a clear policy that we can implement at the start of next school year that every single person in this building can do. And then from there, we want to build upon with the experiments and the philosophy. So all of this amazing feedback you guys gave to us was amazing. And we don't want you to think that it went unheard or unread or that it's not going to be used. It's just that we can't use a lot of it right now because that's not where we are yet. So we're keeping it simple for now, but all of those big ideas and big requests that you guys had, we will get there next year. So where are we going? We're going to be going to trainings either in this school or outside of this school. We are going to do that student-teacher community workshop that you guys really liked the idea of. We're going to make that happen next year. We're also going to have teachers trying different innovative lessons in their classroom, trying case studies, and also when we see the need, we'll further update our AI policy to reflect where we are as a school and also the ongoing development of AI itself.
All right, based off of all of y'all's feedback, here's a quick snapshot and kind of side by side of the original draft number 1 and our new draft 2. So as you can see, a lot of things have been edited and added to reflect those needs that were present from the department meetings. Here are some of the biggest ideas that many of the departments came back that were aligned. We want to make sure that we are expanding the authentic work policy portion to make sure that we are ensuring IEP and 504 accommodations are being properly met. We also want to rename and clarify what the AI levels mean. So instead of just red, yellow, green, getting into a little bit more detail of what those look like and having a more logical name that could fit younger and older grades. We also needed to update the fifth offense of the violations. That will be a later date update once a new handbook has been finalized and approved, but it will be updated to edit how the fifth offense currently looks. And lastly, again, to request that there are department-specific addendums if your department feels there's something they need specifically in order to utilize this policy as best as they can.
All right, moving right along, ensuring authentic work updates. So we talked about, completion grades as it pertains to homework and them being able to do this at home. Well, we don't know if AI is present and we don't know if they're cheating or not. Well, the way we felt we could deal with this is we added the ability to, or the encouragement to quiz students. So when students come back, you would give them a quiz based on their assignment, a 5 to 10 minute quiz. The students could complete it within your review and you could monitor them. How does this affect IEPs and 504s? So we want to utilize CA as an opportunity for students to be able to use extended time as well as seminar and office hours. Students could come during those times. We could monitor them or they could be monitored by the appropriate adult and they would be able to take advantage of the extended time granted to them. We also have a dedicated separate setting room and also, we want to try to have tables in the classroom. That's something we'll talk about moving forward. But having a table in the classroom where students can work during seminar.
Okay, now that we've talked about authentic work updates, let's move on to talking about clear communication updates. We had a lot of really good questions about how this communication should occur. First, we want to make sure that we're consistently reporting it in all of our syllabi. We also want to have a physically displayed version of it in the classroom, which will be created for teachers to display wherever their hearts desire. Then we also want to make sure it's utilized in classrooms on each assignment. So if we have green, AI3, encouraged use of AI, AI2, kind of guided use of AI, and AI1, no use of AI, we might indicate this on the assignment, as you can see here. So in the top right corner of the assignment, there's a yellow and red light. And we also have highlighted in the text of the assignment where that applies to. So in this case of the assignment, students will utilize the sources that are pictured below using an AI video transcriptor to help them in their note taking. However, down lower, you'll see highlighted in red, all infographics must be completed originally made by the student listed as its authors. So that's an example of how you might use it. One thing to notice, and I used it here, is when we are using these color coding, you're going to want to be careful of how you use other colors in your document. For instance, I always highlight in yellow where students should submit their work. I'm going to need to change that color because it will become confusing if I continue using yellow to mean something else. So just something to keep in mind. Now, one other thing is that there's a lot of feedback about the color coding potentially being too juvenile. And so we want to talk about underclassmen and upperclassmen transitioning. So underclassmen would use the green, yellow, and red colors. However, when we get to upperclassmen, we can just go to using the code AI3, AI2, AI1, which they should be familiar with after 2 years of already using it. If you're a teacher who really likes the color coding, you can use it for all 4 years. But if you really don't like it for upperclassmen, you can just go straight to the code. So let's talk a little more about the clear communications. So we know that AI1 means red, no AI permitted. What does this look like? So we're not restricting students' access to technology. We're a technology school. We have technology in our classroom every day. What we do want to do is teach students how to use technology. We want to teach them those good norms. And so this goes hand in hand with the authentic work piece of our policy, where students who are working with or without tech in class with teacher support allows for more ethical completion of all work. And so that's what we're looking at with red. Now, when we're talking about AI2 or yellow, what does this look like? We had a lot of questions here and a lot of people looking for examples as to what these assignments would look like. Again, next year we'll have a lot of time to do a deep dive into that and show lots of examples, but let's talk about it in a basic way right now. What does this look like? To further support students in developing ethical tech norms, we need to teach them about these norms through structured exploration. So yellow assignments occur when teachers introduce and model the appropriate use of an AI tool and provide support and feedback during the student's use of that tool. So an optional addition, if you really like this idea, could be to ask students at the end of the assignment to reflect upon their experiences with the tool so that they can get a better understanding of its ethical use. And last but not least, we have AI3 green. What does this look like? So it's a time to play and explore with the fun and often very useful side of AI. We have a lot of professions out there that are expecting their employees already to use AI tools for more efficient work. And also we have people at home who are using AI for new creative endeavors and also maybe to make their life a little more simple. So this is a time for students to experience these possibilities too.
As far as it goes for updates to the repercussions and violations of our academic integrity policy, we did just a few small tweaks. The first offense will still have the conversation with the teacher and will still allow the student to learn from their mistakes and correct it by being able to redo that assignment, but it will add the addition of contacting the parent and guardian to let them know that their student has broken this policy and that they have one more opportunity to make this assignment up. After the first offense, for the remainder of the offenses, they will have a conversation with admin, parent and guardian will be contacted, and they will have a permanent 0 on the assignment. For any offense, we ask that a form be filled out, which will be sent out to teachers on the same day of the non-compliance with this policy. Administration will have access to this form and will communicate the proper repercussions to the teachers involved and families involved. Here's a quick example of how this policy might be utilized next year. The policy and the academic integrity violations cover the entire year. So if a student has their first offense in biology, this would be a learning experience for them through a conversation with the teacher and contact home, and they would have the ability to make up that assignment. If that same student has another offense in their English 1 class, they would receive a 0 on that assignment permanently, have a conversation with admin and parents. If that same student has a third offense in English 1, they would receive a 0 permanently, have a conversation with admin and parents. And if they have another offense, but this time it's in Math 2, they still would receive a 0 on that assignment permanently, have their conversation with admin and with parents. Like previously mentioned on a prior slide, there will be a Google form that goes out to teachers that they will be asked to fill out on the day of the noncompliance when a student breaks the academic integrity policy. Admin will be the owners of this form, and they will update any necessary information to staff involved in case they need to know about a first, second, or third violation, but it will be kept with just admin so that we do not violate any sort of HIPAA violations. The conversations also have the ability to scale up in severity, starting with a department head or an instructional coach, then moving on to the dean, then potentially moving all the way up to a conversation with the principal.
So what happens if the draft passes or if it does not pass? Remember, we need 75% or more to pass, and anything under that does not pass. Here's something important to note as you're reading through each bullet point. We need clear explanations as to why addendums you would like to include, or if it does not pass, we would love to hear what potential obstacles were there, and what you would like to include to assist the obstacle, or maybe what you would like to see removed and why. That is important to note. We'll be meeting in department groups whether we pass or fail, and in our groups we will discuss what needs to happen next. Last but surely not least, we need you to vote. So you can vote using this QR code, or you can use the link provided in the email. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you. Goodbye.